Philadelphia's open training camp practice at Lincoln Financial Field was supposed to be nothing but a celebration. The defending Super Bowl champions had packed the stadium with thousands of fans, all eager to get a glimpse of their favorite players under the lights. The atmosphere was electric, with music blaring, cheers echoing, and the kind of raw energy that only comes from a fan base as passionate as Philadelphia's. Players talked afterward about how incredible it felt to walk out to that kind of reception, how special it was to have that unwavering support even in the middle of the summer. But late in the session, that joy was replaced by a heavy silence. In the closing stages of team drills, All-Pro left guard Landon Dickerson went down, clutching his knee. He didn't walk off the field. He had to be carted away. Fans held their breath, teammates looked shaken, and the stadium's buzz turned into worried murmurs. What made the moment so alarming wasn't just that Dickerson is one of the best at his position. It was how serious the injury looked in real time. Knee injuries in football are always frightening, but when a player with Dickerson's history, someone who has torn both his ACLs in college, stays down, the first thought in everyone's mind is the worst-case scenario. Social media exploded with speculation, and before any official word came out, armchair doctors were already dissecting slow-motion replays and making grim predictions. Some feared an Achilles rupture, others suspected a torn ligament. It was the kind of uncertainty that makes an NFL off-season feel suddenly very long. Then, early the next morning, the first bit of clarity arrived. NFL insider reports confirmed Dickerson was scheduled for an MRI, and crucially, the injury did not appear to be to his Achilles. That alone was a small victory. A torn Achilles would have meant a lost season. By late morning, the news sharpened. The MRI revealed a meniscus injury. That diagnosis can still range from minor to severe, but the absence of ligament damage was a huge sigh of relief. Hours later, the final, and much more optimistic, update landed. Dickerson's injury was indeed a meniscus tear, but it was considered minor. He would undergo a procedure in the coming days, be labeled week to week, and the expectation was that he would be back in time for the regular season opener against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night, September 4th. For the Eagles, that's about as good as it gets in a situation like this. Losing Dickerson for the year would have been a seismic blow to an offense built on dominance in the trenches. He's not just a solid starter. He's a tone setter, a key cog in what is widely regarded as the NFL's best offensive line. Alongside tackles Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, and until recently, legendary setter Jason Kelce, Dickerson has been part of a unit that controls games at the line of scrimmage. He's physical, he's technically sound, and he brings an edge that resonates with the entire team. Since joining Philadelphia as a second-round pick out of Alabama, he's made the Pro Bowl 3 times and earned a reputation as both an elite blocker and a locker room leader. That leadership part matters more than ever now. The Eagles have undergone a quiet but significant transition in their veteran core. Kelce, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham, icons of the franchise, are retiring, and with their exits comes a need for new voices. Dickerson has been one of the players stepping into that void. His fiery pre-game speeches have gone viral, where he rallies the offense with blunt, hard-nosed reminders to impose their will and make sure defenders remember your name after the game. His energy is infectious, his work ethic relentless, and his teammates feed off it. In short, he's exactly the kind of player you can't replace easily. That's why seeing him on the cart Sunday night was so gut-wrenching. Meniscus injuries can be tricky. They're not all created equal. A severe tear can knock a player out for months or even an entire season, while a minor one, handled surgically, can have them back in a matter of weeks. In Dickerson's case, the minor label changes the whole conversation. The timeline for recovery lines up with him potentially being ready for that Week 1 clash with Dallas. A marquee matchup made even more charged by the Eagles' plan to unveil their latest Lombardi Trophy banner right in front of their biggest rival. Injury concerns with Dickerson aren't new, though, and that history is what made Sunday's scare feel so heavy. Back in college, he suffered significant injuries to both knees, each requiring surgery. Despite those setbacks, his talent was undeniable, and Philadelphia showed their faith in him with a massive contract extension last year, making him the highest-paid guard in NFL history at the time. That title has since been passed, but his current deal still places him as the second highest-paid guard in the league, averaging over $21 million a year. That investment reflects not just his production, but the trust the organization has in his role as a foundational piece of the franchise's future. On the field, Dickerson's impact is everywhere. Saquon Barkley's success running behind the left side last season owed a lot to Dickerson's power and timing in run blocking. The Eagles' infamous tush-push quarterback sneak, which has been nearly unstoppable, also thrives in part because of the push generated by Dickerson and his line mates. Even advanced analytics back up his elite status. Last year, he ranked among the top 15 guards in the NFL in overall grade, pass blocking, and run blocking. And if you go by the eye test, many would argue those numbers still don't fully capture his dominance. Had the news gone the other way and ruled him out long-term, the Eagles would have faced some tough choices. They do have in-house options like Kenyon Green, a former first-round pick acquired in a trade, though his play so far has been inconsistent. Tyler Steen could also slide into the left guard spot, and the team has young depth pieces like Brett Toth, Drew Kendall, and rookie Trevor Keegan, who comes from Michigan's championship-winning line. Even their rookie tackles, Cam Williams and Miles Hinton, could theoretically shift inside in a pinch. Free agent veteran Brandon Scherf remains available and could have been a stopgap if the Eagles needed an experienced starter. But none of those scenarios bring the same certainty or chemistry as having Dickerson in the lineup. Instead, the Eagles find themselves in the rare position of getting good news from what initially looked like a season-changing injury. With surgery scheduled soon and a clear target date for return, the team can breathe easier. For fans, it's a reminder of just how fragile a season can feel before it even begins, and how one player, even in the trenches, can be so vital to the identity of a contender. And for Dickerson, it's another chapter in a career that's already seen its share of adversity, one more hurdle to clear before getting back to the job of moving defenders against their will. By the time the official update came through labeling Landon Dickerson's injury as minor and putting his return timeline at week to week, the collective mood around the Eagles organization and fan base had already shifted from dread to cautious optimism. In Philadelphia, there's an understanding that football seasons are won and lost in the trenches, and the idea of heading into September without one of the league's most dominant guards was almost unthinkable. The relief was palpable, not just because Dickerson will likely be ready for the opener, but because it means this offensive line, widely regarded as the backbone of the team, will remain intact for the battles that matter most. Still, the injury scare served as a reminder of just how important depth is in the NFL. Even with Dickerson expected back, the Eagles have to be prepared for every possibility. Offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland, a master at maximizing talent, has already been running contingencies. Kenyon Green is one name that immediately surfaced as a potential stand-in should Dickerson's recovery take longer than expected. A former top 15 pick, Green entered the league with high expectations, but inconsistency and injuries have prevented him from reaching his potential. In Philadelphia, the hope would be that Stoutland could help him find stability and confidence. Then there's Tyler Steen, who has proven he can handle guard responsibilities in high-pressure situations, stepping in during last year's NFC Championship game when injuries forced the Eagles to shuffle their lineup. Players like Brett Toth, Drew Kendall, and rookie Trevor Keegan also give the team flexibility, while rookies Cam Williams and Miles Hinton, though drafted as tackles, could be tested inside if necessary. But all of these names underscore one truth. None of them can replicate what Dickerson brings to the table. His presence is as much about attitude as it is about execution. On game days, he plays with a controlled aggression that sets the tone for the entire offense. He's the guy finishing blocks while past the whistle, the one barking encouragement or challenges at his teammates between plays, and the lineman you see sprinting downfield to throw a final shove on a safety trying to bring down a running back. When he's in the lineup, the Eagles' left side becomes a wall in pass protection and a steamroller in the run game. The chemistry between Dickerson and Jordan Mailata is also something you can't manufacture overnight. Mailata's unique athleticism as a massive former rugby player blends perfectly with Dickerson's technical precision and brute strength. Together, they've become one of the most feared left tackle, left guard duos in the league, capable of neutralizing elite pass rushers and opening lanes for the Eagles' backs. Removing Dickerson from that equation would mean reshuffling more than just one position. It would disrupt an entire side of the offensive line that has been one of the team's biggest weapons. From a leadership standpoint, his absence would also be felt in the locker room. Since Jason Kelce announced his retirement, there's been a conscious effort from younger veterans to fill the void. Dickerson's voice has been one of the loudest, not just in pre-game huddles, but throughout the week in meetings and practices. Coaches have spoken about his ability to hold teammates accountable, to demand excellence without alienating anyone, and to lead by example in how he prepares. This is the culture the Eagles have worked hard to maintain, a championship standard that doesn't waver even as personnel changes. When the conversation turns to the injury itself, there's still reason for careful management. Meniscus tears may be classified as minor in some cases, but they require precision in treatment and patience in recovery. The decision to opt for a minor surgical procedure is aimed at ensuring the knee is fully stable by the time Dickerson returns. The timing works in the Eagles' favor. Getting the surgery done in mid-August allows for a realistic shot at playing in the opener without risking long-term damage. The expectation is that he'll wear his trademark bulky knee brace, which he's used before to give extra support and stability, especially early in the season. Comparisons to other athletes in Philadelphia who've dealt with meniscus injuries inevitably bring up Joel Embiid. While the sports and demands are different, Sixers fans have seen firsthand how tricky these injuries can be, especially when they involve multiple occurrences in the same athlete's career. Dickerson's history with knee problems adds a layer of concern, but the medical team's confidence in the minor label suggests they believe this is manageable. Still, every rep he takes in practice, every cut and block will be watched closely in the weeks leading up to Dallas. If you look at what Dickerson meant to the Eagles' offense last year, the numbers only tell part of the story. Pro Football Focus graded him as the 13th best guard out of 136, with a pass blocking grade in the mid-70s and an elite run blocking grade, just under 80. But metrics can't capture the way he consistently drove defenders off the ball on short yardage plays or sealed the edge on outside zone runs. They don't measure the trust his quarterback has knowing that blindside pressure is almost never coming from his gap. And they certainly don't reflect the intimidation factor of lining up across from a player who plays with the kind of nastiness that makes you think twice about engaging him for 4 quarters. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling in the NFL community as Bourne, the talented wide receiver, has reportedly confirmed his arrival to the Philadelphia Eagles. This development has immediately sparked a wave of excitement and speculation among fans and analysts alike. Bourne, known for his reliable hands and ability to find seams in defenses, could add a significant boost to the Eagles' already dynamic offense. While the confirmation appears to come from reliable sources close to the player, official announcements remain pending, leaving room for further developments in the coming days. The potential acquisition suggests the Eagles are looking to deepen their receiving core, possibly to provide quarterback Jalen Hurts with more weapons as the team eyes a stronger push in the next NFL season. The buzz around this move has stirred conversations about how Bourne's presence might impact the team's offensive strategies, and how his skill set aligns with the Eagles' playing style. Experts are already debating whether this addition could push the Eagles to a higher tier in the competitive NFC East division, enhancing their chances against rivals like the Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants. Fans, on the other hand, are eager to see Bourne in the Eagles' green and white uniform, imagining the exciting plays he could make on the field, further elevating the team's aerial attack. Speculation has also begun around the circumstances of Bourne's transition to the Eagles, raising questions about what this move might mean for both the player and the team's roster dynamics. If Bourne's confirmation is accurate, it could indicate that the Eagles are gearing up for a more aggressive approach to free agency or trade markets. There is talk that this signing is part of a broader plan to reinforce the team's offense, which struggled with injuries and consistency in past seasons. Bourne's arrival could signal a shift in philosophy, suggesting that Philadelphia intends to put more emphasis on speed and versatility in their receiving options. This rumor has led to discussions on how Bourne will integrate with the current receiving group, potentially pushing younger players to compete harder for their roles. Analysts are considering the possibility that Bourne's veteran presence might provide mentorship and stability within the locker room, complementing the youth and talent surrounding him. If these assumptions hold true, the Eagles could be poised for a significant leap forward, with Bourne's confirmation acting as a catalyst for a revitalized offensive identity and renewed optimism across the franchise. Adding to the excitement, social media has exploded with fan reactions and speculative analysis following the news of Bourne's confirmation to the Eagles. Supporters have taken to platforms like Twitter and Instagram to express their hopes that Bourne will bring much-needed depth and explosiveness to the team's passing game. Some commentators speculate that Bourne's route-running ability and yards-after-catch potential could open up new possibilities for Jalen Hurts, who thrives on dynamic playmakers. There's also chatter about how the Eagles might use Bourne in creative ways, such as lining him up in multiple positions or employing trick plays to capitalize on his athleticism. The viral nature of these discussions highlights the buzz that this potential signing has generated across the football community. Meanwhile, some skeptics remain cautious, noting that Bourne's statistical output has fluctuated in recent years and that the pressure of playing for a high-profile franchise like Philadelphia could affect his performance. Despite this, the majority opinion seems to lean toward optimism, as fans eagerly anticipate how this rumored addition might enhance the Eagles' offensive threat and contribute to their ambitions of securing a deep playoff run. Meanwhile, NFL insiders have started to analyze the contractual and financial implications behind Bourne's possible move to the Eagles. There is speculation that the terms of Bourne's contract might reflect a strategic balance between rewarding his talent and maintaining salary cap flexibility for Philadelphia. Experts are considering how the Eagles might structure the deal to maximize value while keeping future roster moves viable. This rumor has opened discussions about the team's overall salary cap situation, suggesting that the front office is maneuvering carefully to add impact players without compromising their long-term plans. Some analysts argue that Bourne's signing could be a sign that the Eagles are prioritizing immediate offensive upgrades over long-term salary commitments, aiming to capitalize on the current competitive window. The financial dimension of this potential deal also raises questions about how other receivers on the roster will be affected, possibly sparking further roster adjustments. The buzz around Bourne's contract talks underlines the intricate balance NFL teams must manage between talent acquisition and financial strategy, making this rumored move all the more intriguing as the Eagles prepare for the upcoming season. Finally, the possible confirmation of Bourne joining the Philadelphia Eagles has ignited conversations about the broader implications for the team's competitive outlook and identity. Observers are considering how Bourne's skill set could influence the team's offensive playbook, particularly in how they leverage speed, route precision, and yards after catch to stretch opposing defenses. The rumor has prompted comparisons to previous Eagles wide receivers and how Bourne might fill or surpass those roles. Fans and analysts alike are speculating on how this move fits within the Eagles' overall vision, potentially signaling a commitment to a more dynamic, versatile offense that can adapt to various defensive challenges. The buzz also extends to the Eagles' potential postseason prospects, with some experts suggesting that Bourne's addition could be a key factor in improving the team's chances of advancing further in the playoffs. As this rumor continues to develop, the anticipation builds for official confirmation and the subsequent unveiling of how Bourne's presence will shape the Philadelphia Eagles' journey in the NFL landscape. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.